So something that BB Digital Lab, Bridget and myself talk about a lot is this idea of social proof. Especially in terms of online branding and social media presence in general. Now the question is, what is social proof? Seemingly pretty simple, but let's get into it in this episode of the BB&J podcast. I'm your host, John Lynn. Yeah, let's get started. So, the first question, right, is just like what social proof is. Presumably that's why you're watching this video to begin with. Well, social proof is when, in terms of like branding online and social media presence in general, is showcasing why your brand actually gets results, how your brand actually gets results, because it's with social proof, it's not just saying like, oh, we do this and that, or we're a great team to work with. Social proof is showcasing we're a great team to work with. Here are some examples of people we have worked with in the past who've gotten great deals. So, if you're a real estate brokerage, for example, you want to be saying, hey, here's this amazing property that we just sold above asking price. We got exactly what the seller was looking for. They already put a down payment on a great new home. That is social proof, because that's saying to the people watching, hey, we don't just talk about doing a good job. Here's the good job we did, and we can do that for you. With this idea of social proof, it's, we talk about the importance of things like, being funny. We talk about the importance of things like being up to date. And all these different types of content, the importance of them, But what a lot of them come down to, the thing that kind of unites them all, is this idea of social proof. When you have this social proof, you can reliably say, like I said, we've done a good job. Here are the good jobs we've done. We can do it for you. Another, me, I love my analogies. I love my cupcake shops. Little Debbie, sponsor me if you want. If a cupcake shop wants to improve their social proof online, if they came to me and were like, John, I want to improve my social proof. How can I do that? I could tell them. What I would say is, whenever you make a new cupcake, whenever you do a cool new design, whenever you are, even if you're like making just normal cupcakes, document that. Show the things that you do. Show the care that you put into your cupcakes. Show the unique things that make yours a cut above. It's one thing to talk about it. It's one thing to talk about, your principles and values and, high-minded idealism. But it's another thing to say, here are the actual results. That's true of cupcake shops. With actual cupcakes. That's true with you. That's true with your brand. People appreciate, things like ideology, things like principles, but at the end of the day, that doesn't supersede social proof. That, sure, that shows that, your interest and your ideas in the right place, and they feel good working with you, potentially. But that doesn't show that you can actually do a good job if you work with them, right? Regardless of the size, this is true. You know, if you are like a lone real estate agent, you still need to be showcasing, this is why it's a great idea to buy with me. This is why it's a great idea to sell with me. Why, get yourself in front of video, talk about it, especially, if you can get yourself in front of video at the properties, that really helps, right? Because you're not just saying, we do a good job selling homes. You're saying, we did a good job at buying or selling this home. That makes a difference. That is different in a fundamental way because it's social proof, right? So I kind of got into it a little bit, but I want to a little more directly address the question of how do you build social proof online, right? That is something that if you are looking at this and you're like, well, I need to build social proof, right? I know it's important. How do you actually do it? Documentation is the first step. Just document the stuff you do because you might not recognize how skilled, how talented of work you're doing as much as a layperson will, right? I think that's something that we definitely underestimate when we're in the field. You get so in the field, you're like, okay, they need to know that I'm like a super expert who knows everything about everything and is just like, crazy smart about every single aspect of things. But like, people just want to know that you can help them buy a home. People just want to know that you can help them sell a home, right? Or whatever property is. Like, you can go to the best university in the world and have all these accolades. You can be PhD 6 ways to September, right? But unless you have social proof, unless you can say, I have all this experience and knowledge, and here's what I've been able to get out of it, it won't matter. It's really that simple. We live in an age where everything about everything is a type away, right? Is a search away, is a Google search away. Let's be real. It's not a Bing search away. It's a Google search away. But when you're in that situation, right? When everything is so accessible, when you live in an age where all information is so at the touch of your fingertips, it's no longer about presenting the information. It's about being able to say, you can trust me that the information that I'm presenting that I cultivated from these other creators, right, or cultivated from the marketplace reports, or cultivated from, industry gatherings, or whatever it is, or my time out in the field, is going to be good information, good intel. Because it's no longer about, I can learn about everything, but I can also mislearn, right, about everything. As much information there is a bunch of misinformation about every subject. Pretty much every single subject, there is misinformation about it, right? So you can be the beacon of truth, the beacon of results, because they can talk about whatever they want, right? But you can actually say, I have used this information. It has gotten results. Here are those results. Why don't you let me help you? That is going to make a difference. That social proof is going to be incredibly powerful. And that kind of transitions into my third point. You know what social proof is. You understand the basics of how to do it online, documentation, just document what you do, and then focus on the things that, make you, that people interact with, but principally document all the stuff you do, because you never know what's going to be the next viral thing, right? You never know what's going to bring you from 100 subscribers to 100K subscribers, right? But the real question is, you got the social proof, right? How do you leverage it? Because, I mean, I always try to address the question of why is it important? Because, like, you can have all the social proof in the world. You can get however, millions of likes on your posts. You can have, however many followers you want. But that's not really the important thing, especially for a business owner, right? The question is, how is that actually turning into more business for you? The question is, how do you leverage it? So, when you build this social proof, the great thing is, most of the work is done for you. Like, when you've already done this preparation, right? They say luck is preparation meeting opportunity. And that is a perfect example here. When you build social proof and you have someone who may be interested in you, or like making their mind of, should I go with them? Should I go with this other person? Should I even go for it at all? They're going to see your social proof. And you can just bring it out if you want, You can if you're having a conversation with them, you can actually just showcase the results. Be excited about it. And get them excited about it, right? But when you in doing so, all the work you did, generating social proof, documenting everything, it did most of the work. It built that initial trust. So they come in, if they haven't met you in person, then, online personas are often different than real personas. And so they probably just want to make sure that the person that they're seeing online is the person that they're actually going to be working with. And if it is, then they'll know that they can trust you. And that's the biggest thing, right? In terms of leveraging it, if you are authentic with your social proof, if you aren't lying about, the kind of homes you're selling, if you aren't trying to fake your personality, if you aren't trying to fake the things you're passionate about, if you're just authentic and honest about what you care about the results you're getting, it's going to build trust. And then when people see the same thing reflected in person because you are authentic and honest, they are going to trust you so much more. They're going to be so much more willing to work with you, and you're going to get so much more out of your social proof. So that's what I'll leave you with. Document and be authentic. And that is a big chunk of the work involved with social proof and getting results out of social proof. If you do those things, I can guarantee that your business is going to have a good time. And on that note, I'd like to thank you so much for listening and or watching. I do appreciate the people who stuck around to the end. I know I kind of give the same relatively canned outro every time, but consistency, I suppose. But yeah, on that note, I will see you next week, and hopefully you can learn a little bit more about marketing in the meantime.